So yeah, G2 great team overall, but they had like prolific sub jungle issues throughout the whole year. I think they had some drafting problems the whole year for sure. And they haven't really found a way that clicks and works for them. I think the way that G2 were able to win so many titles over such a long period of time is they had a formula. What made Broken Blade, Caps, and Flakked function? What made Wunder, Caps, and Perks function? Not the Reckless roster. They copy-pasted the Wunder, Caps, Perks formula. They brought in pieces that they thought could do the same kind of role. So Flakked was a Perks replacement. Didn't have to be the best, but they saw the potential and the comms. And they plug and pasted this way of playing the game. Of just ABC, really solid League of Legends with like their key players in the right positions, feeling confident to 1v9 and play the games. This is the strength of G2 historically. They put the carry baton in Caps' hands. They put him in positions to carry. They give him good drafts with good teammates around him. And Yike, for example, prolific communicator, excellent amount of urgency, exceptional. I mean, I think G2 fell into the trap of data. This is the problem. G2 fell into the trap of looking at data too much. They didn't look too much in. They didn't look in depth enough into the player perspective. And to be clear, this is the same mistake I made this year. Right? In terms of like team dynamics, in terms of how the team functions and how they want to play. And the other thing for me is like their bot 2v2 is they are fucking up a lot. And you can see they're fucking up a lot. Even though they're winning the 2v2s, I'll give you an example. So when you look at the match history, and you go to like, let's look at when they like 3-1 to Fnatic, right? And they're like, they are literally 1-2ing AD sub, like in a lot of games, and the reason is because they want to give them comfort and just blind. Like that's what G2's doing. Most teams in the league right now, 95% of teams in the league right now, in Split 2, they have drafted top mid jungle first 3. They want to secure a really solid top side on first 3 and mix a match on 4-5. But G2 is one of the very few teams in the world that will just lock in AD carry. Now, there are 2 reasons that you lock in AD carry. One is because you want to see more combinations on 4-5 where jungle sub can thematically and overall do more. So in early game 1-2s of Fearless, it can be a good strategy in some situations, especially if you have good blinds, for example, Misfortune or Varus, you know. I mean, Varus more so, I wouldn't really say Misfortune. And Kalista if you're a Kalista team. With like Talia and a lot of bands out, really specific situations. I mean, mostly I would say like Senna or Varus, okay? But most of the time, you're going to drop bot lane, especially in early games. In G2, you could see the instability because like very clearly they're not playing lane exceptionally well. So they just blind the best champions that they're comfortable on and give more tools to their top and mid or top jungle to be able to draft better and make a better game state. So I think 2v2 bot is a problem. I think sub jungle is a problem. I think their tempo is a problem overall. I think there are drafting problems from player side. I mean, maybe it's coach too. I don't know. And they fell into like the data trap. I still think Skewmon can be an amazing jungler. But I think Skew is really good and they can make it work. He just needs time and you need a good plan. I don't know how capable they're going to be because I don't think G2 coaching staff and I don't think G2 historically has been a team that like has the luxury of doing this. That's the sad thing about G2. Because the thing about Yike, for example, is Yike just came in and won straight away. Right? And he was much, much better than community expectations. For me, Skew is like worse, at least on stage. No, but Skew did really well in LFL as well, if you watched. But I think he needs time and a really good plan to like develop and a solid team identity. So like this is G2. You need to understand this a little bit. I do think that, you know, Europe is like, I think it's more competitive, but I don't think it's like as competitive as you guys say it is. Like, for example, for me, I still think there are only maybe like 3 good teams. Like, I think Carmine Corp, Koi, and G2. These three were the clear outliers for me. Like Fnatic were okay. They had a really good roster. Like with Humanoid Razork, you're gonna have like a top 3, top 4 roster, right? But I do think they are fucking up a lot on the map. And this has been a classic Fnatic issue for many, many years. When I competed against Fnatic too, like I remember I knew how like Humanoid would function, and we picked Silas into TF like 3 times and beat them when they were a much better team. You know, there are just some really clear problems with this team. So I don't think that like LEC is a team that's in general like really really OP. I think they are a really top heavy region. You could make an argument for Giant X. I think they were good, but they were not exceptional. So yeah, for me, the top 3 very clear were Koi, Carmine Corp, and G2 with Fnatic behind. You can see how Fnatic were winning games in like regular season games, but it's not going to be as easy in playoffs because they have a really like one-dimensional style. This team, I'll be very clear, is going to play the bot. Anyway, we're going a little bit off topic, but the main point is that's the G2 roster, super high budget. They always go for, their expectation is to always win and be the best. They spend a shit ton of money. They're fucking, like, I know some of the contract values of these players. I know, and I won't say, but it is large. They spend a lot of money. They have the best staff. They have the best players. They expect to win, right? But they have had a rough year, and I do think a lot of it comes from sub jungle. Okay, I think that replacing Yike was a mistake, personally. But I can see why they did it. Okay, because Skumon was probably really cheap. He's probably on minimum salary, like 60k, 100k, something like this. And data-wise, apparently he was the best. So, FURIA. So FURIA is a big spender in Brazil. I don't know why people say that they are not a big spender. They are a big spender in Brazil. They historically have always been a big spender. Gigo, household name, amazing top laner. 3-time cblol champion now. Before he was 2-time. I personally worked with him last year. He's a player. So let's talk about FURIA. So let's start with Gigo. Like, strong understanding of side, but not perfect. For Brazil specifically, especially, I think that he has a good read and instinct on tempo and how to play the game. He has a really good idea on limits. The thing about Gigo last year that I felt bad about is last year we had a roster at Viva Cage Stars that was like limited in nature. That's the absolute truth. Okay? The expectation of last year was for the roster to make top 4. That was the expectation. That was a budgetary investment, and that was the expectation. And we made finals. And the reason we were able to do that, in my opinion, was we created really good, but also simplified and static systems. And so, if you play in this way, you're going to be a bit limited in how well you can play the game. And this is not because I believe in that. He might believe that. That's what I kind of had to make them believe to sell them the idea. But it's because we had a limited ability individually. That's me being 100% honest. Individually, in terms of firepower, I was taking a pistol to an AK-47 gunfight. And so we needed to be 100% on the same page in every play. And I think this FURIA roster allows him to play closer to that style. I think he's an amazing player overall. He has great comms. Solid champion pool. But like he will trade on weak side. He will like play on limits when he shouldn't. I think his lane is like okay. It's really good for Brazil. Internationally, he's okay. I wouldn't say that he's like amazing, where like I'll put him on bin level. Of course, there are levels to the game, but he's okay internationally, amazing in Brazil. Like Gigo is very clearly a top 2, top 3, top laner here, and they invested a lot to bring him, and he's paid off dividends. He's an amazing player. He has a strong he's really good out game. I mean, I only have good things to say about Gigo. Really, he has a really strong desire to win. But you kind of also need to know what makes him tick. I think the biggest difference between 2022 Giga, 2024 Giga and 2025 Giga is this. A, he believes with this roster, he can win. There's going to be ups and downs. I think last year it was hard to convince him. I'll be honest with you. I do feel like he felt that way. I don't know if that's true, but that's how it feels. But second of all, I think like he found motivation within himself. I think that like, and I think ThinkCard giving him room to speak and like help build Furia's game made him like shine, you know? I think like he's someone that if you know how to make him tick, you can make him function well. Kind of emotionally manipulate him, kind of. He had a good coach. Now, I think ThinkCard, you know, obviously has done a better job than I have. But I think that ThinkCard also has better pieces around him. That's for sure. That's for sure. Compared to how we were functioning last year. Because a lot of my bets last year just didn't pan out. You know, we had Takui and then the Lelico swap midway. But overall, like I would say that there's a really big difference in Gigo. You can tell by the demeanor, the way that he carries himself, how much solo queue he's playing. I know some things behind the scenes as well that I'm not going to share, obviously, because it's private. But he's an amazing player. He's a franchise name. He's someone that Furia should really look to hold on to. So, Toots. So, one, he's historically had stage issues. But he's performing really, really well this year. And I think a lot of it is from like A, confidence, B, ThinkCard, giving him like space and room to play his game, to talk about his game, good environment. But also I think his teammates, like I think Gigo enables him a lot. I think that Jojo enables him a lot. This combination, top support, they enable him really well. Plus Tattoo. I think this is a team environment that functions well, you know, like maybe they argue a lot, but in the end they feel confident to talk to each other. It's a winning formula for sure. And but because Toots, the thing is like while he's had bad stage issues in scrims, and like when he's playing his best game, I think Toots is a prolific laner. I think he's top 3 in Brazil in lane. You can argue top 2. For me, like the top 3 mid laners in terms of laning, off the top of my head, I mean it was Toots for sure. Miru was up there, and there's one more, guys. No, I don't think ThinkCard is emotionally manipulating them. I think ThinkCard is like a very chill coach, and he gives a lot of space and room for players to talk and like have ideas. And he happens to have players that really talk about their ideas. I've watched every single one of the interviews. I read I ThinkCard's interviews. I didn't watch Gigo's interviews because I don't fucking understand him. He does it in Portuguese. But when I watched ThinkCard's interviews, he always said like Toots always comes to the room with ideas and he studies a lot. He's kind of like the Decimus of Furia, you know. But he's definitely top 2, you know, top 2, top 3. Like in lane, I think he facilitates like jungle really well, and he plays lane well. He's not going to like win you the game. He isn't a player that will win you the game by just stomping lane. But you can tell he's smart. You can tell that he's very disciplined. You can tell that he has good ideas. And I mean, for me, like this is just a guess too. This is just a guess from the outside. But for me, like he has a kid, right? Like for me, if you're a father, like unless you're a bad person, you feel you need to succeed. Like not just for yourself, but like for your kid. That's how I see Touch, you know. I think he's just a really solid top 3 mid laner that has solid lane. He's like solid on tempo. He has good ideas. He's historically had stage performance issues. I thought Toots was really good last year too. I told Boyle before the year even started, I said I really like Toots as a player. But I didn't want him. Not that I ever could, but if I could have him, I don't think I would have wanted him. Purely because I think his stage performances were lacking. But he overcame that. And that you can give a lot of credit to, you know, the coaching staff. You can give a lot of credit to the years that FURIA put in behind the scenes and gave him room to grow, right? So Tatu is okay. So Tatu, Ayu, and Jojo, they're all really unique players for me. Like Tatu for me is really special, bro. The guy's a rookie and he has zero fear. He's zero fear, but his weaknesses are adaptability. Like when Tatu has to play against things like Rengar, which VKS Academy brought out against him in the finals when we beat him. He lacks adaptability on playing things that he doesn't have experience against. He lacks experience, but he learns super fast. Once he sees a problem, he can look at it and solve problems. But he's not going to be a person that sees a problem for the first time and just fix, like, instantly smurf, you know? It's not like this. You know, it's not like this. I think that overall, like, he has good ideas about the game. Like D, mechanically, he's the best. I think in Brazil, I think he's the best, or top 2 with Decimus. But for me, he's clearly playing on instincts. I don't know how much ThinkCard has like changed him, but for sure he has a lot of his game. When I see, that's just based on, I think it's good, it feels good, I'm gonna fucking do it. And most of the time it's good. Like, he'll see a lane state and it'll be a bad gank on paper, but it'll just be like, he just feels, he has a good instinct and feel for the game, which is really rare. And that's good. And he'll just go. Like, say bot lane is like playing normally. He'll just have a feel for when things work, you know. And this is really rare on a player. So for a rookie, he's a really amazing piece. I want to talk about Jojo a bit. I think, like, I've always said this. I think Jojo, Frosty were like top 3 supports in Brazil for a while. If you watch my videos from last year, I always said a top 3 support. He can play Enchanters, which is rare in this region. He actually can play the Seraphine. He can play the Ashe. He can play the Lulus. I think his vision game is solid. But I think he messes up his tempo. Like, I think his like tempo issues, but I think his and retake issues. I think his lane is okay. It's good. It's good. It's okay. It's okay. So you have a really good core. You have Toots, Jojo, and Gigo, 3 veterans with a lot of experience. Toots has a cblol, Gigo has 2 cblols, Jojo has 2 cblols. So between them, they have 5 titles. They have 3 solid veterans, and they have a journeyman who is Ayu. Ayu is not a rookie anymore. He's been playing cblol for 2 years now. And he's been in the FURIA ecosystem for a long time. I've talked to Jamie. Jamie believes that Ayu is a franchise player. And to be clear, I looked into Ayu last year too in the transfer window, and basically Jamie, the owner of FURIA, said fuck off, we're never selling him no matter what. And then Tatu, who's a rookie in this like really good environment. Like when you see this FURIA lineup, if you look at it from the outside, you have a coach that gives space to players. I mean, it's very clear when you see it. Has ideas on the game, but not like overlord. I think that he has really good great drafting. He has Gigo, Jojo, who have very clear communicators in game, and Toots, Gigo, who are the confrontational people that will bring up problems and solve problems. You have Tatu, who's a confident, young, talented rookie in a good system and a lot of space to work. And he has people around him that can build him. He has veterans around him that build him up. And for me, it's very clear that like Gigo is teaching Tatu. It's just so fucking clear to me. Like when I see. And Tatu is respectful enough to be able to work with Jojo in this environment. So of course they must have had some bad moments. I know they argue a lot. Blah, blah, blah. And then they have a young kid who's a journeyman So he's not gonna have stage problems. With really amazing mechanics, probably one of the best in the league. I would put like only IU and Browns together in terms of mechanics. I think honestly, IU did not look that good last year. IU Jojo did not look that good, but I think with Gigo coming in, Gigo was that piece that FURIA needed, and you can say that's the mistake on our part. But it's not a situation where we could have kept Gigo anyway, because Gigo said he wanted to leave, and FURIA wanted to pay a massive buyout, and Cade wanted to sell him. So there's not a situation I could control, but Gigo was a key piece to make this intricate system of having like Tatu, Tuts, IU, Jojo fit all in together as like a second mentor alongside ThinkCard to have this room. So it's a team that I thought about a lot this year, that I learned a lot from, that I took notes on, and I was like, where did I go wrong? What can I learn from these guys? And so yeah, overall great team, but the problem with FURIA overall in terms of the game is like they fuck up side a lot. I think they're behind in game knowledge for sure. Like I promise you, they're behind in game knowledge. I think like tempo wise, they mess up on retakes especially. But they have good, confident players. They will play their game. Mechanically good across the board. And I think they're a team that has like a solid champion pool, you know, like a big champion pool, which enables ThinkCard to do what he's best at, which is to draft well. And they have the right pieces and players to enable this big champion pool, because, for example, it's not easy to draft a Seraphine for Jojo if they don't take vision well. But they're getting that from somewhere else. They're getting like a Tuts on Annie, they're getting like Tatu on a tank, or they're getting Giga on a tank. Whereas like when we perform, when VKS perform on tanks, there's a very clear weak, like it's much weaker than when he's on carries. Like when Boal is on, except for Sion, like if Boal is on an Ornn and Giga's on an Ornn, it's a completely different ball game. That's the truth. And this is what VKS need to catch up and try beat FURIA on. This is what we need to be better at. This is me being completely open. This is our weakness. This is what we need to be better at. This is what we need to understand and build upon and try to be better. Right? If we want to evolve and beat these guys, that's what we need to do. And I think that like they have a lot of, and the strength of this roster is they have a lot of joker picks that traditional Western teams, strong teams, not just Western team like G2, like BLG, etc., won't be ready for. For example, like Yasuo, Alistair. Overall, I think that FURIA is much better than Pain last year. For me. This is me being completely honest, because I think their drafts are much better. I think that having like creative drafts internationally makes FURIA way better. But not because of players. For example, like I think Titan is the best Brazilian player. He will 1v9 a game. But I do think like Dinquedo Pain is stronger than Roma Pain. And I think that Dinquedo Pain was a player that enabled Titan, gives him space, his body, but fundamentally, Dinquedo has problems with his game. From like game knowledge, understanding of side, etc., and just habits. So the reason I think that FURIA is like much better than Pain is because they can do these creative drafts, function well, and play with confidence internationally, which some teams are just not ready for. Teams are just not ready for Yasuo bot, just spawning bot, which makes picks like MF worse. You know? And I think fundamentally, I think that FURIA play a better map. And FURIA, like, they play a better map than Pain. I don't think they have better players than Pain. I think they do play a better map than Pain / macro in general. And this is me being 100% honest. Like, when I lost to Pain, as I said, I just straight up said that Pain is fucking inting, and I got wrecked in social media. But it's because I don't have a filter, you know. It's not just because of champion pool and being creative. It's the way they play the map as well. Like, I don't think Pain just choke. I think FURIA is just a better team. I think that if Dinquieto played against FURIA in, like, this year, Prime Dinquieto from last year would probably beat the FURIA now. But I think that FURIA play better map. Pain played better fights. But FURIA played fights good enough on the day, and they had winning map states and winning draft. So FURIA, for me, this is like the most amount of context you're going to get from both of these teams. And so it's important to take this context. FURIA, I wouldn't say is a low budget team at all, but they are a well systemized, many year, 3, 4, 5 year project that built into something good. 2023, IU comes in. He stays across 23. They build him up in 24. They keep the core of IU Tuts together. They figure out what works around him. Bring in Jojo from Red, and they realize, okay, now we have IU, Jojo, and Tuts. We have a really solid core. Let's upgrade our coaching staff and bring a jungle top in. And this made it work. Bro, Dinquieto is a really good player, and you should not disrespect him. I think Roma's like, he's okay. This is me being honest. Okay? I mean, I'm just being, he's okay. I think Roma's okay. So this is just me being 100% honest. Context behind FURIA and G2. There's a reason that FURIA won in cblol. Really intelligent team, well thought out, good project, good coach, good coaching staff, good players, good ecosystem. And this is what VKS is up against, and this is what VKS has to try win. The competition that VKS faces this year, and the players and the rosters is much harder than last year. But the overall gameplay, I wouldn't say is much better. FURIA stepped it up a tremendous amount in playoffs. So they got to show that this playoffs game in an international stage, which is what is so impressive for me.